Hey, welcome to my channel, and in this video I will give you the 10 signs that you are an highly sensitive person, and I will give you a few tips that you can do when you're highly sensitive. I am highly sensitive myself, and this has been a major thing in my life where I didn't really know, and sometimes I really have to be conscious about my sensitivity and honor my sensitivity. I believe it's a gift that we are given for us to create the life that we actually want. So, and when you really honor this thing and accept it within ourselves, we can use it as a tool in our everyday life and literally become the fucking rock star that the most people cannot, if you understand what I mean. And I'm gonna read from my upcoming book that's about highly sensitive and highly sensational seeking. I would do it in another video, but in today's video it's gonna be highly sensitive a person. Well, I'm gonna dig straight into it, and here is number one. Maybe you have been called oversensitive, and people say that you're sensitive. People tend to kind of blame you or put you in a corner that you're like, oh, you're so sensitive, like you should be stronger or anything like that. And they kind of almost, I felt many times that I am less worth because of this, or there's something wrong with me. And people has been on me, and because then they feel that they are better than me, kind of. And especially for me, this has been when I've been working with other guys that really oh, I'm so strong as a man. And I come and I show my sensitivity, or I remember when I had a job that I completely hated. I was working with building ventilation, and I was carrying heavy stuff, and I cut myself, or my hands and feet are very almost like a baby still. And I was so sensitive to all of this stuff that I was working with, and they were kind of on me, and I couldn't really, I could do it, but it was very hard for me to push through and hold this thing and work, and maybe that is for some people, but for me it was very hard to be in that way, which I'm not. So that's number one. Number two is that if you're very easily overwhelmed by your senses. Yeah, so this could be your five senses, that your sounds, or your touch, or you're sensitive to smells, or just abrupt feel, things that happens around you. I know when I'm sleeping, I'm so extremely sensitive. So if I don't have earplugs and someone just says something, I can hear a smallest thing in or outside my room, and boom, I'm awake straight away. Even if it comes to a small breeze of air into the room, I wake up straight away. I'm super sensitive. I can absolutely not sleep next to someone. It just doesn't work. I had a relationship for 7 years in the past, a very passionate but also toxic relationship, and it was hard for me to sleep. And I couldn't really understand why it was hard for me to sleep and why I always was waking up, because as soon as the person next to me was slightly moving, even if she didn't really move that much, slightly moved, I felt that, and I woke up, and boom, my sleep is one of my most important things in my life. And then my day was fucked, and I was tired, and I couldn't understand why I was tired. But now I know, so I honor my sleep. I really close everything off so I don't hear or being abrupt in my sleep, for example. And it's just been a gift for me. I have so much more energy when I do this, and when I really accept it and love it, because it also comes with a lot of positive things. So that's number two. Number three can be that if you see things maybe in the media, I do not never ever watch horror movies. I do not watch media, social media, when it comes to news. Everything that is pain and suffering and fear, you feel fear and all this shit very easily. You take it on as almost as yours, and it's just horrible to absolutely can't stand it. Like I have to close all of this stuff out, and I only want to perceive the things that is beauty in nature or good people, high vibe things. And I have to do this because otherwise I being affected by those things, and it can take me days, weeks to actually get out of my system. Specifically fear. Fear is one of those things that if someone tried to project a fear on me, like I easily take it on, and no, I have to really step out of it. So if that is you, maybe you're a high sensitive person. Number 4, it's about stress. Maybe stress is hard for you. I know I can handle a certain amount of stress, but in the end I need to calm down. One of the key things that's been healing for me, especially now when I live in Bali, is that stress has been the number 1 factor for me not accomplishing my goals. I've been so overwhelmed and stressed, my nervous system has been in fight or flight mode, and the only thing that healed that was for me to sit here and basically do nothing. Allow myself to rest. Sleep in the middle of the day, sleep long hours at night, 10, 12 hours. Really acknowledging in my mind that I don't have to do things. And when I started to calm down, things started to come into my life instead for me trying to micromanage my life. It's been a beautiful journey, but stress is one of those things that I absolutely have to avoid. Sometimes when I'm stressed, I even stand in a circle. I can't really think. Like my mind goes blank, and I forget things and I don't know where to go, and it's horrible. So if you're very sensitive to stress, maybe you're high sensitive also. Number 5 has been one of those things that sometimes I can be like, when it's massive amount of people, I am an extrovert, so I love people around me, but when it comes to like big crowds of festivals where almost like the big crowds want you to shut down, walk away, or just it's too much energy for you to take in because it's so many people and so much is happening that all of your senses getting overwhelmed by the situation, and you're just like, no, I have to leave, I have to go. So if you resonate with that maybe you're a highly sensitive person. Number 6 is that you are highly emotional. Often highly sensitive people, they are also highly emotional, so their emotions are very strong within you. You feel very strongly, and these things can trigger your emotions. I remember in my healing journey, it's been like if I got a text or an email, someone called me, tax office was on, like they were calling me, and you know what? They were calling me to saying like, oh Michael, this year you get money back. And I would like kind of like freeze. So like the emotions within us are so strong that the most people, they seems to be untouched, but we are like super sensitive to all our emotions. Even joy, when it comes to joy, you're like, wow, super joyful. And you're like, oh, you're so fun. But then something else happens, you're like, totally switch. And then you're on the same kind of like pattern, but with all the emotions. Number 7 is one of the things that it's really aligned with me. And I hear this from a lot of people. When I was a child, I was very shy. I didn't say anything. I didn't took any space. I was really withdrawn. And I was like this cute little boy that people sometimes thought I was a girl for some reason. Weird. But that happened. If you remember that you were shy as a child, and now you're more like you're more outgoing maybe, or you want to be outgoing, but maybe your emotions is holding you back, then you might be a high sensitive person. Number 8 is that you get overwhelmed by like a to-do list. Like there's shit tons of things to do, and you want to like really sort it out and take it one at a time. And if you look at the whole picture, like it's so much things that you get overwhelmed, and you're like all these emotions comes over you. Well, maybe you feel overwhelmed by the task, and that could be that you don't want to make mistakes. or you don't want to upset people, or you want to avoid those feelings where you kind of like, you don't want to, you want to give, you want to help, because you are a giver in your core, like you give, that's what you do, but you don't want to make mistakes. Then also you maybe be a high sensitive person. Number 9 for me has been totally, this is so aligned with me, you are sensitive to pain. And that could be spiritual pain, or it can be emotional pain, or it could be physical pain. I know specifically the physical pain for me is the hardest pain. The emotional pain and the spiritual pain, I've gone through so much spiritual pain that I can now, like, when my father died 2012 and I had my first awakening, that was like spiritual pain for me. I felt it within me, like I was broken. I was completely overwhelmed by this emotional pain, this internal pain that I never felt before. My father died, my family rejected me and left me, and there I was, like, except my mom though, but there I was standing all by myself, and I had this spiritual pain that I never felt before, and it was the most unbearable pain that I ever felt in my whole life. Today I went through it, and I kind of learned from it, and I always learn from pain, and I embraced that. So today, my physical pain, my body is very sensitive to all sorts of like pain to my body, and I thought it was like I was a wimp in the beginning, and I was like, oh, I'm not strong, and everyone else can take this. But you know what? Honor your sensitivity and your pain in your body. Your body is your vehicle, your vessel. It's gonna take you anywhere you want to go in your life, so really take care of it. But if you're really sensitive to pain, then you might be a highly sensitive person also. And number 10 has been a huge thing for me that I've been healing out from, and that is that you work hard to please other people. You do everything for everyone else because you want them to like you, you want them to accept you, you want them to like embrace you into their world and have this connection with people. So you do everything for everyone else except for yourself, and that comes down to feeling exhausted and drained, and yeah, it's not healthy at all. You are low in energy, you don't feel full, you never get what you want. It's just a horrible thing that I've been doing towards myself literally my whole life, and I didn't really understand. And then I started to heal out from this and do things for me instead, and say like basically like this to people, and now it's my turn. And then my whole life completely shifted. I found a way when I was a child, because I wasn't given the love that I wanted, so I found a way to please my father, and the way I was pleasing my father, I was starting to please other people, because sometimes I actually got some love from them. And this pattern has been rolling in my life for many years, but now a long time ago I healed it. But it's so beautiful when this stuff comes up and you start to embrace your own stuff. You start to look at yourself and you see how fucking awesome you are, and how awesome you can become, and what you can do, and what you have. I believe that everyone that's a people pleaser and doing things for others, they genuinely learned how they can give and produce value for other people, and that is the most important thing. And they can become extremely successful because they know how to produce value for other people, and that is what a business runs on, producing value for other people. That's how you become successful. It's very simple, super simple. So these are the 10 things about a high sensitive person. If you felt that something resonated with you, comment down below, subscribe, please follow. I would love to have you on the journey. I'm gonna post more things on this topic and other topics around this from my book and from what in my life. And I hope you enjoyed. I love that you are here. I love you so much. See you in the next video. Bye.